Fuck, 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 man. Alrighty then. Alright, welcome into the video. Alrighty then. We're gonna do a bit of reading. Alright, so I just put out a video where I was just vibe coding. Yeah, I mean, in order to put like the amount of volume out, I think that's required for you to get good at video. I think you just have to ship and ship and ship. And in order to ship like 2 videos a day, because like my goal is to put out 100 videos. And if after me putting out 100 videos, I have not reached my goal, I'm just gonna quit. and I'm gonna and anyway, so we're gonna do 100 videos. I think this is video number 9. Sorry, no, this is video number 3. And the workflow is that I can basically just come on here and just start talking, and the AI will look at the best segments and it'll chop it up. And so you're thinking not in terms of video, but you're thinking in terms of the video gets transcribed. The AI looks at the text, segments it, chops up the text into different segments, takes out all the ums and uhs and pauses and nonsense, removes all of the fat and leaves just the meat, and then reorganizes the meat into a narrative or into something that makes sense, into a story arc. And so this is this video I'm going to actually share a little bit about the creator outreach pipeline that I've built, and I'm going to go over, what it is and what it does. So it's basically a robot that finds coaches on TikTok or any social media and like learns about them. It gets their email, their social profiles, transcripts of one of their main like most viral videos, and then it sends them a personalized email that sounds like me, trained on my knowledge base, which we've been talking about, and kind of matches my offers to what they do and talk about, and like tries to create like a win-win. Like, and anyways, so it starts emailing them. So there's 5 steps to this. The first step is obviously scrape. So we're using a bunch of different scrapers. There's obviously these are tools in the AI in an agentic way. I'm not just scraping. The AI is scraping agentically with tools. And I'll probably at some point talk about the tools that we use. I think that's more for like paid students in the paid school or like in the private Discord. We'll, share like our actual setup and even maybe work for you. We have good vibe coders that we're hiring next week, Monday. And we can even, get a project manager on your project to basically set up the agentic tools where you have literally like 1,000 different tools that you're one AI. That's the thing. Like people always talk about agent teams, and it's like you just need one good agent, like one good Claude Code instance, one good Claude Code work with scheduled tasks takes care of everything. But anyways, we're scraping the AI scraping, then the AI is enriching. It's using different tools to enrich that contact and merging and looking across a lot of different platforms and a lot of different websites and merging all that data into that one profile. It's pulling some of the videos that they've done. So we're working with creators. So we work with creators. So it's pulling in their videos, what they talk about, kind of what their brand is. Then it drafts a message. And what's interesting is we're injecting into this drafting phase, our offers. So it's important. I think what I would add into my knowledge base inside of my ICP is not only my story, but like my offer. And yeah, this needs some work. So like within ICP, you'd actually put your offers, your links to your offers, your offer stack, your value ladder, so the AI could knows what all that is. And then also within like your ICP, not only is your story arc, but other stories that you use to do like sales and content, like stories from your life. The stories are gold. Anyways, I don't want to go too deep on some of those marketing kind of aspects, but and then it sends it, and then it just sends the email, and and then we wait for a reply. Step 1, scrape. We give it like a hashtag. So for example, like business coach. And so I think of hashtags as like full on economies. Like people put hashtag this, hashtag that, and that's like a targetable, scrapable thing. It's like instead of businesses, companies, or industries, you're thinking in terms of hashtags, which are like movements or trends or like I don't know, they're like little economy. And so you go in and you scrape into these economies, like what hashtag, what's your, it's not what is your niche. Like from a coaching perspective, it's no longer what's your niche. It's like, no, what's your hashtag? And like for me, it's like AI avatars, AI innovation, stuff like that. Anyway, so it goes in, it collects every person who's posted under that tag, and for each person, it saves their name, their bio, their follower count, and a video URL. So you can actually see this here. And this is code and an app. It's like a GUI. It's an app that I give to my students, paid students, premium students in school, because it's school for sales. It's sales, AI sales school. So how to actually sell AI. So building and selling actual useful revenue generating AI infrastructures. This is what you would call like a CRM, a pipeline. It's a Kanban. It's an agentic pipeline. It's an agentic CRM Kanban pipeline where you basically drag and drop contact. Every time you drag and drop, a new agentic function um, goes through. So like if it pulls in everybody who is scraped, and then AI scores them, and it pulls in people who actually have emails that are found, and if it doesn't have email found, they don't move on, and then it'll run them through like Perplexity, and then it'll find like transcripts, and then it'll draft emails, and then it'll send. And each of these is like a little Python function that runs in the back end with an LLM. So it's not only code, it's not only AI, but it's this whole system. It's this agentic coded system. That's where the terms vibe codes come from. And so, I was on Instagram today with this guy who helps consultants like go viral, and I'm sitting there DMing him like, "Hey, want me to build you the Obsidian second brain?" Because he commented on my reel, and then I was like, "Hey, like I can build you this outreach thing," and then no reply. Like this entrepreneurship thing, this outreach thing can be so frustrating. Like connecting with people who are like high value, ambitious entrepreneurs you want to do business with, you get no reply. That can cause people to go insane. So anyway, um, the point of this is volume, massive personalization, which was never really possible before. And so then you can work with the right people. So anyways, so we scrape and we save it into a data set as a markdown file. And then all we're going to do, right, is just add a port that looks at real data, right? So all this is it's funny, right? Because I talk about knowledge bases being the foundation of AI. It literally is, because all it is a port to this JSON file. It's just a GUI on top of a JSON file. And all this data is just getting pushed into, a front end Kanban. That's literally it. Like it's none of this is like super complicated. So what happens next? Well, enrich. So it takes the list and tries to find a way to contact it. Runs 6 different phases of enrichment in sequence. The first one is it's going to read the bio. The simplest thing is just some people put their emails right in their bio, like whether it's TikTok or Instagram. It reads every bio, pulls out an email address if it finds it, and then if it doesn't, then it has a bio link. So for everyone still without an email, it asks Appify is what we're using to go fetch their full TikTok profile page. The reason is TikTok profiles often have a link in the bio. So the URL the creator set doesn't show up in the hashtag. So Appify returns that link. This is where the nesting starts. So you have a TikTok profile, a bio link, and that's really the door to more information. So we needed a fallback. So we actually started to use Firecrawl to actually go read that bio link page. So for everyone who now has a bio link, it sends that URL to Firecrawl. Firecrawl is a web scraper that reads any web page and returns it as plain markdown. And it looks for email addresses and social media links, their Instagrams, their YouTube, LinkedIn's, Twitters. So this is the first layer of nesting. It has a TikTok bio. Firecrawl reads it. Then we get the email and the YouTube, or just like the links. The next phase is you can do web search. So everyone who's still missing their emails and no bio, we could just search the web and for something like their name, and we can just return the top 3 results and titles. And sometimes it's pretty much their website or something like that. And then Firecrawl opens and reads it, etc., etc. The next thing is we can do perplexity search. So if we're still missing their email, it's a search engine and it reads the web, and we can basically find emails through there too. And then the last one is we can scrape their social profile. So some people have a website stored. For everyone whose website is a real website, we can read the homepage and pull every social media profile it finds. And so just an example. So that's kind of what the nesting looks like. We're doing hashtags and then looking at the links in the bio, trying to find the email. Then we'll use Firecrawl to read the bio link, which is like a Stan Store link or something like that. Get the email and socials. We'll use Firecrawl again to read the website. Then we'll use Perplexity to get more information. And then we'll return all that information into the actual person's profile. So, like for example, this is the guy we've been using here as an example. But we have someone's bio, their follower count, amount of videos, likes, their profile, a sample video, their website, and you can enrich this more with their full socials is going to be enriched as well. So for everyone with an email, it pulls a transcript of one of their videos, and it just reads every word that they said, saves it as raw text, and that's like really good source material for personalization. We can literally hear exactly how they speak, what they're talking about, what their content is about, and mention it. It's a really good opener. And then we can draft the email, step 4. So Claude reads their bio, their transcript, and then writes a short email that references something they actually said, and that opens up the relationship. And then it sends the email automatically, and then we just wait for a reply. So that's the whole system currently that's out. And there's a bunch of different hashtags that I think would be useful in finding people's profiles and doing outreach like this, instead of scrolling and looking for creators and doing some sort of DM strategy. This would be more of an email strategy that you could do in bulk, and you could basically let it run all day. So this segment, I'm going to go in and prompt Claude to help me find more hashtags for people that match my ICP. But the first thing I'm going to do is import a markdown file, because I was working with Claude earlier, and I have a markdown file with some examples of my offer, my ICP, and some emails. So I'm going to just download this as markdown, and then I'm going to pull it into a file tree. So again, Obsidian is simply your file folders on your computer. There's nothing fancy about this. There's nothing fancy about a knowledge base. There's nothing fancy about AI. It's just good file structure and good structuring of information. So all I'm going to do is go into my downloads, find that markdown file, and I'm going to pull it into my ICP folder. Now I have my nice ICP offer and matrix. And now that that's in there, what I can do is point to it, and I'll just right click, copy the path, and I'll say something like, use the voice mode. Use this ICP offer and email example to research different hashtags. I think of hashtags as economies that we can scrape associated creators from. Make a list or a nested list, a list and a sublist of hashtags and more niche hashtags. So general hashtags and then more niched down sub hashtags that my ICP would likely congregate under. This is my target audience, and these keywords, these hashtags are gold for targeting. Then index for those customers, for those target audiences, the hashtags that those target audiences would be targeted. Who are their customers? And what hashtags do my clients have? Where are my clients' hashtags? And make those sub niche and sub indexes. And return a markdown file of my hashtags, and then a matrix of my 4 ICPs and their hashtags as 4 columns markdown. So you can kind of see how I prompt with voice. Um I don't spend my entire life typing this extremely long prompt. AI has a million token context window. So I'm pointing it to a file and then I'm just doing a fairly long, maybe 400 token voice prompt. And um, that will create targeting lists that are now indexed and that I can use to get my clients results and get myself results. I mean, you guys have all heard of scraping people's email, D7 lead finder, Apollo, getting company emails, and all that is archaic. All that's old. The stuff that's working now is all going to be creator economy. It's going to be hashtags. It's going to be working with creators because you only have two things now. You have corporations and you have creators. Everything else is pretty much left behind. Well, you also have people who are advertising on Google, have good SEO, stuff like that. But other than that, everybody else is pretty obscure. So this is the modern list building method. We're going to go into a couple other modern list building methods, content creation method. Obviously, our knowledge bases can create content that sounds like us, and create scripts. So we're going to add in some more things here. But generally, I mean, your foundation of AI, guys, I know this is not sexy, but your foundation of AI is literally this. It's your files. It's just your folder. Labeling your folders, numbering your folders, and using them correctly with instruction sets, and then having a wiki. I think these are nuances that really change the game. And man, just wait until we get DMing finished. Wait until we have our AI start crafting personalized DMs. That's going to be game changer. But for now, emails is fine. Doing deep research, deep filtering, deep qualification, that is good. But I want you to just think of this. This is the output. It's our hashtag index for our ICP. Okay, hierarchical hashtag index for all four of my personal ICP segments. And this will probably grow and evolve over time, but this is a nice starting point. So we have the general niche and then the sub niche, and then we have client side, which I think is really interesting. So I'm just going to go into the general niche and then I'll go into the client side. Actually, I'm just going to pick a sub niche and go to the client side. So for creator, so here's some general. So content creator, content creation. Sub niches, we have YouTube, TikToker, Instagram coach, podcaster, UGC creator, or short form content, right? These are all hashtags that we can scrape creators from. Their clients, look at this. This is the money right here. Client side, who pays creator? Aspiring creator, grow your brand, personal branding, build your brand, content coach, creator coach. So these are all economies where everyone buys from each other. Like even though they're a content coach, they're still buying content coach. That's why I think of these hashtags as like their entire economies of interest where people are purchasing products and services from each other. Next one would be public speaking. So general public speaker, keynote speaker. I'm sure TEDx will be in talk, speaking coach, etc., etc. But look at this. Look at the sub niches, right? Side, event planners, corporate events, meeting planners, company culture, leadership training. These are niches that we could target for people who like all these economies are all people who are purchasing from each other again. So I like to think of these keywords as economies. Like even when even if you know like pay per click, PPC, like a keyword is an entire economy of competitors, suppliers, buyers, brands. Like there are entire um, niche economies going on. And this type of research enabled by AI allows you to um, participate in those economies, right? To put your message and your offer into that economy. So coaches, general coach, coaching, life coach. But you have business coaches, sales coaches, health coaches, life coaches, money coaches, women coaching, black coaching, Latina coaching, female entrepreneur coaching. And look at the client side: business owner, entrepreneur mindset, growth mindset, self-improvement, personal development. Like these are all hashtags of like the type of content that's already on my feed anyways. But these economies will pull profiles, and then through the enrichment process, through the vetting process, through the research and analysis, that AI can do for you now. You can get very granular and very specific at who you're actually reaching out to. And then woo woo spiritual. I thought this was interesting because a lot of the woo woo spiritual niche is garbage, but some of it is really highly developed. And so that's why it's an interesting niche for me, because there's a lot of personal development and highly developed coaches, but then there's also a lot of bullshit. And so, anyways, for these spiritual coaches, what I'm interested in here is client side, spiritual seeker, light worker, star seed, healing, shadow work, spiritual growth, higher consciousness, conscious living. These are where you can target clients. And like if you're a medium or a psychic reader or a quantum consciousness, quantum healing, then you can find these profiles of these people, reach out, um, with like, and reach out and personalize your message, right? And even you can go in and you can even hire a DM team. Like there's entire systems, um, that you can set up. And as soon as we get the DM thing working with AI, it's over. I mean, you won't even need a VA at that point. So, anyways, here's like kind of a matrix of the hashtag. I mean, this is um, extremely important research to have in your business. These are all the economies that you can go into, and this is email is just how you grow your business. So move on to the next segment now. And for people who have been viewing me for a while, I'll just give you a quick present here. So I'm using this is more of a creator strategy to growth strategy for like threads, people who are doing personal branding and writing. But I'm basically using AI to do 100 comments per day on people's posts. So people like, for example, this gentleman here, I forgot his name, David Huberman Lab. I basically just shipped a comment without even touching the keyboard, right? So I went through here and basically same thing by keywords, looked at my personal brand, my topic trees, neuroscience, mindset, etc., etc. And I go through, and my AI is trained to like research the person and then craft a comment that will get good engagement. And what I noticed is through threads, if you post like 100 comments per day, the algorithm starts to pick you up more as more heavily engaged, and it grows your engagement. And so after you basically use AI to post comments on people's pages, say you just shipped 100 comments, your algorithms, your engagement score goes up. So anything that you write or send after that gets picked up and has the potential to go like hella viral. And so this is one of the better use cases for growing personal brand or like growing your accounts, is so that you can get more reach, more engagement, and your posts can do better. And so it like research people whose posts are like going viral, and it only comments on people's posts who are going viral. I had a viral thread uh, the other day that for vibe coders, and it was able to kind of attract people who wanted to work for our company. And we were able to give these vibe coders an opportunity to come and generate real revenue inside of our AI business, and actually install these same exact systems for businesses, for companies. So, for example, AI agents that go through and do things like this for real businesses. So, on top of doing outreach to creators, also growing your engagement on your platform, so that anything you do create gets a better boost in the algorithm. So, for example, here we're posting on a holistic therapist. One of the clearest signs of nervous system healing: losing interest in talking so much. Most people talk a lot because they were never fully heard, so they repeat themselves, hoping this time it will land. Silence is what happens when you blah, 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 blah. So I'm just commenting on random stuff. And you'll notice, like in my activity, the activity starts to go up. You get more like likes and replies and whatever. And so now at the end of the day here, my algorithm is going to be pretty on point, etc., etc. Anyways, that was just some of the things we're working on. We're really trying to be able to productize not an app, but like a service, like an AI service. And by being able to hire in vibe coders and being able to bring them into our system and build our own company knowledge base. So like this knowledge base is my personal knowledge base, but it wouldn't be very challenging to just create a new vault and call it a company knowledge base and begin putting things in there that can be synced into a cloud. And then the company could have access to that as well. And then someone comes in, gets access to our SOPs, our skill, our tools, and then our systems and processes, and can go in and have real impact with any of our clients. And it doesn't take up any more of my time. So my time can be spent on ideation, my time can be spent on architect, my time can be spent on updating company knowledge bases, hiring people and doing things like that, like the skill sets that you can't necessarily do. Also, it's a lot higher leverage to just coach through the video, especially for clients. Like there's like 4 or 5 different things that videos are doing. It's nurturing it's bringing in cold audiences, it's nurturing your warm audience, it's also fulfilling your clients, it's giving your clients, like if your content's that good, it's giving your clients um the actual fulfillment, like it's doing some of the work of actually paying you and working with you. And it's also bringing back cancellations. It's like bringing old clients back who are like, wow, like you're still doing this, like you're still growing. Like, yes, we're still growing. So it's hitting like 7 or 8 different birds with one stone. And so like most, like as a founder, I hate to say this, but like most of your time should be spent making YouTube videos and like making tutorials, making educational, like coaching through the mic. And until you can replace yourself with an AI avatar coach or an AI avatar YouTuber from your knowledge base, then all that you would be doing is simply updating your knowledge base all day, working on your knowledge base, working on recruiting, relationships, company culture, like that. And the knowledge base literally just runs the whole company. All right, what's up, guys? Moving on to the next segment. All right, so as a small creator, it's challenging to juggle a million different hats. As a one-man AI business, you have to juggle the content creator hat, the editor hat, the marketer hat, the sales hat, the product development, the coder hat, AI architecture, implement, installation. There's like a million different hats that you have to juggle. The workflow with this code that edits my videos for me allows me to, instead of go through and make a full video, to just build in public and just kind of narrate like in a meta kind of way, like my daily task. Like I have AI that's generating me YouTube video idea, but am I going to actually go in and like read this script and take all that time? Like maybe for some videos, but this video literally is about how like a million different things. Like it's just narrative, and I can just film and the AI will just pick out cool segments to put together. Like, okay, yes, I replaced my video editor with 80 lines of Python, but still, like, I still want to be able to speak about my builds in a meaningful way. But anyways, there's real problems, right? You're recording for hours, and then you have to edit. Like, these are big problems. 3-4 hours on an edit just eats your day. So this is the way like AI helps you like actually run a business and juggle all those different hats. Again, you're condensing 63 minutes of raw footage into a 17-minute finished video that you can just ship. I think that's amazing. And yeah, here's the transformation literally right here. You stop becoming an editor and you become a thinker who records stream of consciousness and lets the machine find the story. And that would actually help me reach my goal of putting out 2 videos per day. Especially like you have vibe coder video of people literally sitting there doing silent vibe coding sessions with like music playing, which might be interesting to even do in this video. There we go. Now we can get some vibe coding going. Yeah, I'm just playing. I'm not going to do that. We still got the comment bot running on Threads. Threads blowing up. Yeah, I mean, so what I was working on is, let's see, what was I working on? Heading. Oh, okay, so yeah. So I had this idea for a video that I was going to make, and it is on obviously the creator outreach pipeline, which I've been working on today, which has touch screen. I can just use touch screen on my laptop, collapse the cards with the arrow, and then I can see like each step, and then I can run each step from the HTML. Pulls up the lead. Eventually, I'll have like send email here or personalize draft an email, and I have all of my contacts here as well. I still need to have that scroll down functionality on the board. Anyways, what was interesting was like Palantir, the government contractor, also uses Kanban boards to find target, process, and combine data sources to do target identification. And then there's a kill chain. And it's the same thing with sales. Sales is militant. You have to find target, you have to research and bring data together, and then go in with the pitch, and then go in for the close. Like there's a close chain. So anyways, this is a very natural GUI user interface or dashboard to sell, especially for AI sales enablement, AI sales system, because, and also even content creation pipelines, right? Like any system could be broken down into different layers and chopped up and put as kind of a Kanban or a multiple Kanban with like multi-layered Kanban. Anyways, Kanban. So that's that. Another couple things, I added end of session hook. So and I synced my Obsidian into my GitHub. So let's see, I'll show you here. So now I have my actual files. I have my Obsidian files. You'll see here. Here's all my Obsidian files. It's the same system here. All this in Obsidian is now synced into GitHub, which means it's synced into the cloud. So now I have routine, which runs in cloud infrastructure, that can do sleep mode, meaning every single night when I'm not working, the system goes into my ops folder and it pulls in my log and it reads everything that I did. So for yesterday, and it starts doing memory consolidation. So it starts sleeping and consolidating and running the 80-20 rule on everything in my logs and putting those into memory buckets here. And it does this all in the cloud. So I have my memory archive, etc. And it's going to start syncing in memories into this folder. And then when it spins back up, I'll do a pull, like a git pull, and every single day I'll pull in those new memories into the system. And that's what I was actually trying to work on here. So both hooks are live now. So let's see. Let me just do this. Did we ever set up the hook that pulls in GitHub memories every single day? So hooks are an interesting thing with Cloud Code, with your command line interface. Especially specifically in VS Code with your Cloud Code extension. A hook is like a function that you can run that I didn't even know about. It, like whenever you have like your first session prompt or you close the session, it'll actually run a function for you. So for example, if I X'd out of this session, my hook would launch and sync all of my files into the cloud. And then every time I open up a new session, it'll pull in context from what I'm typing and check my memory files, and then inject context from my memory files here into the prompt on first prompt injection. So the command line interface knows what skills I was working on, what projects, what people I was working in the CRM with, what ideas I was working on, there's decisions I made, builds, etc. And I think it's funny because people are like, yeah, I have 100 agents spun up. I have a multi-team, multi-agents. Like, no, like this is what real vibe coding looks like. It's like maybe one or two, um, extensions open, where like while one extension's thinking, I'm working on another one, and maybe I'm working on two in parallel. And then maybe I'm actually reading the outputs. Like I actually have to read the markdown files. I actually have to read the JSON, and I actually have to read through what it's doing, because I get extreme control over the outputs. Like I have extreme understanding of my file structure. When I first started with vibe coding, I would just let AI do whatever it wants, create any file structure, and I had no idea where anything was. All my files got super disorganized, convoluted. Things were breaking. It was doing stuff I never wanted it to do. It wasn't following instructions. Now in my second run, everything's super organized. My Obsidian knowledge base and my file structures are the number one priority. And then I can add in things like memory is now like my least priority. It's even numbered. Like the higher the numbers go, my main priority is obviously sources. and operations, right? And writing. And my least priorities are like my data sets and memory and stuff. These are things that come later, right? In terms of, I just think in terms of like layers of an onion. You can see like vibe coding. It's not really vibe coding. It's vibe coding is more or less it's just an LLM that is helping you with code. You still have to read it. And so like vibe coding is really good for people who read and who want to learn. And I'm looking at these threads, like some of these threads, like I have my AI bot running threads comments, and some of these threads are so dumb. Like, why wouldn't you use an AI bot to comment? Because why would I pollute my brain with some of these comments? Like, there's so much like, just like it's annoying. So, but anyways, look at the activity. So we have like likes coming in on some of these on comments, and that'll get picked up by the algorithm hopefully at some point. I was doing research. I researched a lot of ARXIV papers. A paper on MemGPT came up, and MemGPT developed into Letta, which is same thing as like Claude Code or Codex, is just really not well known. And they actually have self-learning agents, so the agent learns from everything you say to it, and it stores it all in its own GitHub, which I thought was confusing. Like it puts all of your memories in its own GitHub folder, and that didn't make a whole lot of sense for me, especially as I'm getting more like cybersecurity aware and etc. But so that's what inspired and why I'm excited about this kind of cloud backup and memory system is that you manually can train the AI by making sure that your logs are filled after you're done with a chat session, that you summarize and add into your operation logs everything that happened. And so the whole idea of sleep mode, where the AI can learn from chat histories, chat threads, and self update its own memory files and make its prompts better and stuff like that, has been interesting. There's research that people are doing trying to make that better, where you don't have to repeat yourself as much. And obviously, having well indexed, well stored memory files, good prompts, good hooks is one of the fundamentals to making that happen. All right, I'm going to go into a straight vibe coding session, no talking, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
I'm not 18 anymore. I don't live in a dorm, and I have little free time. I'm working, raising 2 kids, and I'm tired, but I'm not done. That's why I chose University of Phoenix. I take one class at a time, log in on my schedule, and I don't have to worry about tuition going up. It just fits my life.
University of Phoenix, built for real life. Get started at phoenix.edu.
Managing your budget is a lot easier when you know how much your bills are in advance. With budget billing, you can pay the same amount each month on your electric bill, no matter the season. Summer bills tend to be higher as we use more air conditioning. Budget billing helps level out the peaks and valleys. We'll spread your energy usage for the whole year across 12 equal payments, so your monthly bills are more manageable and you'll know ahead of time how much to budget. For details, visit tep.com/budgetbilling.
Oh wow, I literally just hit my session limit. That's hilarious.